episode 4, CJJ podcast.
Shit.
Off to a hot start.
Sorry.
We welcome our good friend here, Kevin Gowdy. Kevin, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Honored to be on the Crying Jordan Jabronis.
CJJ podcast.
Who would have thought?
Pretty big legacy to live up to.
I still got my shades on. No one told me. Come on now.
There's only 2 types of people that wear sunglasses indoors, Steve. Nope, never forget.
Dope and cool people.
You got the mayonnaise?
You took it from me.
Oh, wrong podcast. Anyway, Kevin. All right, so let's just dive into this. So we met kind of ironic, or just not. It's weird how it kind of happened. So my fall semester, 2018 at Westmont last year, I had 2 classes during practice, Tuesday and Thursday. So I had to come down to the field early, Tuesday, Thursday, like 10 a.m. to throw with Corey. And then you were coming off TJ.
Yep.
And you're from Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
And you're good friends with Bryce.
Yep.
Bryce Morrison, who should be playing right now, by the way.
He should be in Pro Ball.
Bryce
somewhere.
had an unbelievable year.
Yeah. Whether it was a free agent sign or late in the draft, like he should be playing.
It literally
somewhere.
got to the point where we started chanting, "Get Bryce up."
Yeah.
It was our whole offense.
Yeah. I don't think he made an error in like 2 years in the outfield.
He caught everything.
So, yeah.
Left center was like 410 feet. Nala, chill out. Dog's going
She's
crazy.
fired up.
It's just not a puppy cast.
She agrees that Bryce should be playing, I guess.
Right.
But he tracked on everything in the outfield. It was like 410 to left center. He freaking hit 360, 370, I don't know. Was one of the fastest guys I've ever seen.
8 bombs, maybe.
Great arm. Would throw guys out at third all the time. Anyways, you were good friends with him from high school, right?
Actually, from the time we were like 10 or 11. We've been playing together, hanging out.
Right.
And Bryce is a really cool dude.
Awesome.
Like him a lot.
Oh, yeah. Bryce is flying planes now, so you should come
Flying
visit us.
planes,
What the heck,
yeah.
We've been talking about it. But,
Yep.
So he hooked you up with Kugul then? Or is that...
It was, I think through Bryce. And I was just headed over there just to throw a bullpen for the day. And then I remember finishing up and you were over there and we were talking about just like drive line. And I had never really done the like drive line, especially the recovery stuff. So you were like, oh, if you want me to take it through you or take you through it, I will. And tried it out and ended up really liking it and just kind of kept in contact and went from there.
Yeah, and then so you actually went up to drive line.
I did.
There. How do you like that?
It was good. So I went up in September for the assessment, and then the Phillies sent us up there like December 1st through the 20th of this year. Yeah, we were doing like some pitch design stuff and got to do another mocap, and it was awesome.
That's awesome.
Liked it a lot.
Yeah, so you're technically living in SLO now, right? San Luis Obispo, or around there?
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda.
It's been all over this off season. I mean, right now I'd say living in Sac.
There you go.
Just because.
You love to hear it.
Shout out.
Yep.
But yeah, so you were, I think I reached out to you and just kind of told you I was working in OA. Mm-hmm. And then you got family in Oregon, is that right?
Yeah, so my parents moved up to Bend, Oregon. So I was on the way up there for Thanksgiving and needed a place to train. So I texted Lucas and was just like, hey man, like swinging through town, like would love to see the facility and maybe get some throwing in. And came and checked it out and then ended up really liking it. So here I am.
There we go. You stayed. We got you.
Yep.
Stuck around.
We tricked
Yep.
you.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Well, yeah, I guess we should back up. So you were a draft guy out of high school.
Yep.
And you went to college to go play pro ball. Mm-hmm. Where were you going to go to college?
I was going to go to UCLA.
Okay. So John
Very
Savage
cool.
over there.
John Savage, yeah, he's
That's
the
a
man.
decent institution.
Yeah, I don't
right.
think it's bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not such a bad life either way you put it. Huh?
Yeah, the school part wasn't great of it, but
Yeah. Don't forget about the school part.
No,
Not
UCLA is
easy.
like,
No
no.
slight work.
You would have had a blast.
But, so you were drafted, what round were you drafted in?
In the second round,
Second round.
What year was that again?
in 16,
2016.
By the Phillies, right?
by the Phillies.
Drafted by the Phillies. You go and you play, and then you had TJ in 17?
Yeah, August 15th, 2017.
Okay, so
Had
you
TJ.
played a year and a half kind of basically, or did you?
Yeah, pretty much. I played that first summer in the GCL and then started the next year and extended and then only pitched a couple games and then elbow just kind of started flaring up and then ended up tearing it and tried to rehab it for maybe 3 months and tore it again. So I just said, let's just go ahead and get this done.
Now, was that so it wasn't just like it popped, it was just kind of building up over time?
Yeah, I think so. Kind of started as just like tightness in my elbow, and then
Was that in high school it kind of got flared up, or what?
No, not really. In high school it felt good. Like
Right.
I never really felt anything, and
Okay.
Back when you were long tossing.
then
That was kind
that's
of
another story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it just started out as tightness, so I didn't really think too much of it and just tried to pitch through it because I was an extended, which is like not where you want to be
right.
in the minor leagues. So
I've heard.
was just trying to like pitch through it, and then it just kind of got worse and worse, and finally I had to say something, and
Right.
got the MRI and just confirmed it.
Yeah.
So
you were going out just trying to compete on it, obviously, to get out of there.
yeah. I mean, I just wanted to make a
Yeah.
team, like get set
Yeah,
up and like
right.
get out of there. Those are some long days. and
Yeah,
extended, but
I bet.
So you in TJ in 17, and it's been pretty much, I'm guessing, most of 18 rehabbing.
pretty much all of 18. Yeah, I pitched in one game the last day of Instructs in 18, and which was a wild thing. Like I hadn't pitched in a real game in like close to 2 years, and a little funny story for you. So I was out there, and like just like the emotions that were going through me were so crazy. Like just like so excited, so anxious, so nervous,
Right.
and because it was my first time like in a game in like 2 years.
Yeah, playing.
Yeah, playing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're playing
like
baseball,
on a field. Like I play baseball.
Yeah.
And
at a high level. I think.
yeah, and so I was
lot to
out
take
there, and I was out there, and I threw my warm up pitches, and like the first inning was starting, and I just get this like pit feeling inside my stomach, and I just like something just doesn't feel right, and I think I throw like 2 pitches, and then I get the ball back and like step behind the mound, and it just like hits me, and I like throw up behind the mound.
You puked?
In
On the
my
field.
first game, yeah.
I thought you were gonna
So
say
that
you
was a
pooped your
good
pants.
good start back. No, but yeah, just like I think it was just like so
Wow.
much nerves and like just excitement to be out there going
they-
through me.
did
And
they
it was
do,
only like water, but
You
Yeah.
just threw up?
just threw. Yeah, I have a video of it if you guys want to see it.
Yeah,
That is
but,
crazy.
uh,
We'll have to put that on the
We will.
show.
We will.
That's
But
insane.
but yeah, it was just like
So you think that was strictly just nerves and excitement coming out of you?
just yeah, I think so much.
Wow.
It's like and not even like really nervous, but just like all that stuff just hitting me at once and
Did
like
anybody
and-
hit you with jokes and everything?
yeah,
after that?
everybody
Yeah.
saw it too, but it was
Yeah.
awesome because like I kind of stepped behind the mound, threw up real quick, and just got back on the mound and just
Went
kept
back
going.
out.
Did they clean it up, or they just say, yeah, play through it?
It was on
Yeah,
the
he
grass. So
covered
I
it
think
with
was
some
fine.
grass, and he said, "I'm on."
So
Did
you
yeah,
dip the
I'll
ball in
have to
it?
show you guys the
How was
video on
the-
that one.
How's the outing, though?
That's gross.
It was pretty good for my first one back. I mean, I think I had like a 20 pitch limit, so I went like 2/3 of an inning,
Right.
and it was instruct, so it didn't really
Okay.
matter that much. But
So
I think
is it-
I had like a strikeout and maybe a walk and like a fly out or something like that.
So that was at the end of 18.
hmm
And then, so last year you played the whole season?
Yeah, I did.
And where were you last season?
I was in Lakewood, New Jersey, which is low A.
What
for
on
the
God's
Phillies.
green earth is that?
It is. It's like an hour south of Newark.
Okay.
So
How do you like New Jersey?
it's interesting. It's a different place for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But we actually that league was all the way down to Georgia, and then over to Kentucky. So we had some long bus rides.
A lot of
I
travel.
bet.
Yeah, we had one that was I think 16 hours down to Rome, Georgia, and we had too many guys for all the like beds on the bus, so I was on the floor
Really?
for that 18 or 16 hours or whatever.
Sounds like an
And-
NAIA bus ride.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm sure you you have some good stories about that.
Yeah, man, that's
Just
awesome.
Well, so I mean, people talk about all the time the absolute day in day out grind of the minor leagues, where you're making pennies to freaking eating PB&Js and all these long buses, and people, when you break it down, you're making less than minimum wage per hour for how much time
Yeah.
you put in. But I mean, that's like the epitome of living it there in New York or in New Jersey, taking 16-hour bus rides in what was it, low A, high A?
Low A.
Low A.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that like? Just you got any good stories or any minor league? Just like,
Not sure if there's many I can say on here.
Yeah.
That's
right.
fair,
We'll
that's
keep
fair.
them behind the scenes.
But no, but I think it was just going through that Tommy John like just kind of gave me some perspective.
right.
And like even when things were like shitty, like I don't know if I can say that on here, but like
Dude, I've been cussing.
when things were shitty, it was like, dude, like a year ago I was sitting in my hotel room, like just like had been in Clearwater for like 14 months, like
Yeah.
couldn't pitch, couldn't even throw past like 60 feet, and it was just like I think it was just really good perspective, just to like remind me like how lucky I am just to be playing.
Yeah, your mental headspace gets cleared a little bit.
Exactly.
You start to see things that you didn't before.
So it's like even when things were like going tough last year, it was like, hey, at least I'm out here, you know,
Right.
getting to
Playing
compete
again.
and playing. Yeah.
Playing at a high level.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. I mean, the question I had for you to back up, and you guys sped through the timeline like it was like quick. But something I could attest to that I want to know is what was it like to come out of high school and be so wanted and be a high prospect and have the option to say, hey, I can skip out on UCLA, which is insane to me because there was guys like, from me, my perspective, if UCLA would have came knocking on my door, I would have signed a piece of paper. I don't care who said what.
Yeah.
But being in your perspective where it's like, hey, I got a chance to go in the second round and get paid. And how old are you, 18?
I was 18
years
at the
old?
time, yeah.
I can't even imagine what I would say at 18. Like, and what was that like? I mean, coming out of high school to go sign a professional baseball contract.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough for sure. I think, and I was like pretty much set on going to school too.
Right.
Like I remember I'd already enrolled for like summer classes at UCLA, and like I was like all in on going.
Probably excited. I mean, that's.
I was really excited. Yeah, I'm like, just I mean, I had like a good senior year, but I didn't think good enough to go where I wanted to go in the draft per se, or like to
Yeah, right.
or to like
Or in general, just go.
or to get like maybe the money I was looking for.
Gotcha.
And so I was pretty much all in on school.
Right.
And then things kind of changed like even like 20 minutes before the draft. So
Really?
it just kind of ended up working out that way.
Opportunity came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just jumped at it.
Did your parents say anything about school? Were they hounding you like, hey, you gotta go get your education, or was it like, hey, it's your choice, man, you're 18 years old?
A little bit of both, I'd
Do what
say.
you love?
A little bit of both. Yeah, it was they were really on board with kind of like what I wanted to do, but they made sure they gave me like the best information and gave me good advice for each option. So
that's good to have. I feel like, I mean, in those situations at 18, you gotta have some guidance, right? Some compass that you can go
Yeah,
after.
exactly.
I mean, I can only imagine how tough that'd be. I mean, that was just, to me, that's crazy coming out of high school and getting, calls from big league teams. That must have been incredible.
Yeah,
But having UCLA in your back pocket must not be too bad.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like a win-win, I guess.
That's
like,
awesome.
Even if it didn't work out, dude.
And if
Very
UCLA's
cool.
plan B, I mean, shoot.
You would have yourself a hell of a time. No, totally. But things are working out. So now we're here, 2020. You're off to spring training in a week, less than a week now.
About a week.
You're pretty excited where you're at right now? You think you're ready?
Yeah, I'm fired up. I mean, it's been a really good off season. And I've been really happy that I've been up here at
Putting in some good work, at OA. I mean,
Yeah.
you're in there every day doing your
Appreciate
thing.
having you.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, even just like you guys having like the Rapsodo and like just your guys' knowledge of it, like you don't really find that at too many other places, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a
especially
learning
in
curve.
California too.
Yeah.
So
we're all learning together and trying to execute for you guys and you guys for us. It's been awesome so far.
Yeah, well, it's great what you guys are doing. I've loved it so far.
So kind of going off training and just being a guy that's been through TJ and the rigorous rehab and all that.
Yeah.
Take us to either like a typical start day. Like, what's sort of your game day preparation? What do you have to do to get your body and arm ready to go throw 5 to 6 innings?
Just on like a game day thing,
Yeah.
like a start day.
What's your routine?
Definitely like probably about like an hour and 45 minutes before the game. Like just start getting in the gym and just like rolling out, doing like some movement prep stuff, and then I'll get a shoulder stretch from the trainer, just like taking the shoulder through some movements and stuff, and then start doing my arm care probably like 50 minutes before the game starts, and then at like 40 minutes I'll be out on the field like stretching and running a little bit, and then usually about, I mean it always changes with like home or away or what you're doing, but usually like 25 minutes before start getting into long toss, and then try to be on the mound like 12 minutes before the game, and then go from there.
So you've got a routine that you stick to.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, how important is that for you with your performance, you'd say?
It's really important, but the thing I've found is like it changes from time to time.
Which
like
is interesting
even
because
yeah.
guys usually say, "Hey, I got to do this. I got to eat 4 Taco Bell tacos the night before I pitch on a Tuesday."
Yeah.
Right? It's like
Yeah.
Just a regular Tuesday for me.
yeah. But I mean, for you, you're saying it can change, and you're okay
Yeah.
with that, and your performance is okay with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
there were times like at the end of the year, like it was like we'd be in North Carolina in like July or August, and like it was so hot out that
Sheesh,
if you were out there stretching and running for 30 minutes and then playing long toss out to 300 for like
You did, man.
25 minutes, like you're dead by the time the game even starts. So
you're
like,
throwing your first pitch at 70.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
So like sometimes you kind of just got to make those adjustments. Like
I think that's
with-
huge for if people listen to that. It's like it's okay to take in your environment and then execute based on that,
Right.
instead of like go kill yourself before the game just because somebody's saying you got to be perfect every single time or you got
Yeah.
to stick to that routine, right?
yeah, exactly.
I
Just
like-
being flexible and like.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously having that same core routine,
Right.
for like,
of course.
like I want to do this, this, and this. Like these are exercises I
2
really
or 3
feel like I
things
need
maybe
to do.
that you got to do.
Yeah,
Well, that's something that like we kind of pretty sure our guys in training too. Like we schedule out like what they're supposed to do every day, but at the end of the day, you gotta listen to your body.
Right.
Like,
Right.
if you have a pull down day and your arm's hanging, like don't do it.
right.
Or you can modify like certain drills, like do more or do less depending on how your arm's feeling that day. Especially for you, like at the end of the day, the main goal is to go compete
Yeah,
and to get out.
yeah,
Right.
And whatever you have to do to put your body in the best position to do that, whether one day it takes a little longer, it takes a little less, or you got to do more time with the PT or whatever it may be. But I just had a quick question. When you mentioned you had arm care about 40 minutes before him, what all does that include? So you're done with the PT, you're not going to play catch. What do you do in between that?
on start day.
Yeah.
Usually I'll do some kind of like wrist weights, tubing, and then the body blade. I'll do that like upstairs. And then when I'm out on the field, I'll like throw some plyo balls,
Nice.
like reverse throws, pivot picks, maybe like a walking windup.
Your UCL doesn't tear after those?
No, it hasn't exploded yet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Immediate contact.
Even with the new one in there, it's
That's
been
fair.
fun.
I was just wondering, making
New
sure. I've heard things.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay.
I'm surprised my arm hasn't fallen off yet.
Hey,
I mean, I'm talking shoulder
we're still
down.
going.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. So it's kind of something that guys at home might be interested in. Being a guy that was drafted out of high school, what was your velo like then? And then what was it, I guess, when you started to get hurt? And then what is it now? Has it all kind of been the same?
Like in high school?
Yeah, let's say senior year when you were kind of getting scouted and signed to UCLA. What were
When
your...
the Phillies called up.
Even Savage, like,
Yeah,
a lot of these kids kind
Savage.
of need to know what it takes to kind of get to that D1, the D1 interest, serious
Yeah.
interest.
Yeah, so I think my senior year I was like usually between like 91, 93, touching like 4 and a couple 5s, and then I think I maybe got up to 6 like a time or two.
Holy.
And then
really?
Some cheddar.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And then I was also 160 pounds doing it, so I feel
Jesus.
like that's a reason why I got hurt.
Jesus.
But
wow.
and then that next year when I started feeling my elbow, I was like 88, 90, 91, and like I could just
Did
kind of
anyone-
slowly start telling something was wrong.
Right.
Let any coach notice and be like, hey, like,
You all
you're
right?
6 miles an hour off where you usually are. Is everything okay? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of
Quick
people
math.
were like, "Hey, it's just like it's like the end of spring training, like early in the year, like just building up to it."
Yeah.
And like, I just really didn't want to say anything at the time.
That's right.
'Cause-
Yeah, because
I
like we
was
said,
stuck
you were
down there,
yeah,
yeah.
you didn't want to be in that mud for too long. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
That's got to be tough. I mean, because you're a competitor, so like we
Yeah.
talked about already, but
Yeah, well, especially your first year too,
you're gonna
like
prove
you just
something.
want to
You're
get
a
out
kid.
there and yeah,
Hey, you're 18.
Yeah.
What,
exactly.
Insane.
So this was your first year, full year healthy post TJ.
Mm-hmm.
What was your velo at this year?
It was so this is pretty interesting. It the beginning of the year I was like 89, 91, 92, and then I went through like kind of a dead arm phase where I was like I had one start in Rome, Georgia where I was like 84, 86.
This Rome place sounds
Sign me
brutal.
up.
And and I mean I actually like ended up like pitching pretty well. I think I went like 5 innings, like
Well, pitching's
no
all location,
runs.
we all
Spot on
like
the
that.
outside.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, little Greg Maddux
All
action.
right. Young Maddox.
But then towards the end of the year, I was around that 2-year mark from surgery, which is where like I guess a bunch of guys like start feeling like pretty good.
Okay.
So all of a sudden I was like sitting like 93, 95 again, and
Jesus.
it was such a weird year in that way, like how it was like here and then all the way down here and then way up. Like,
and you're saying that was just all, you didn't do anything differently? You weren't trying to maybe throw harder? None of that?
The only thing I can think of is I started throwing plyo balls like halfway through the year.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm not going to say like plyo balls brought me up like 5 miles an hour.
In 2 weeks or whatever.
In like a month. Yeah,
no, but it could have some factor.
Yeah, I think definitely that, and then kind of just getting towards that 2-year mark, like post-surgery. That's where a lot of guys
like
say,
you mentioned,
yeah, they start feeling better. So
pretty cool. I mean, getting that back for you must have been a good feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
So you were talking about starting to throw plyo balls. What, I guess, was the Phillies' stance on pitchers? What they have you guys do? Has that changed? What's their sort of methodology as far as? I know they had Jagers there for a little bit.
Yeah.
From Driveline.
Yeah.
But if you want to dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, it's been pretty interesting to see the past few years just because, like, in 2016, like, they were pretty, like, against, like, weighted balls and kind of just, like, the Driveline stuff in general.
Much like everyone else.
And, like, a lot of teams right now. And but it's been really cool to see just, like, over time how they've kind of progressed.
Oh, yeah.
Into, like, first it was, like, some more long toss stuff, and there was, like, a little bit of plyo ball stuff in there, and then like the Rapsodo stuff and pitch design, and like it's just been awesome to see it like kind of evolve over the past few years.
Now, were you, as a player, were you granted more freedoms with these things, or were you pretty restricted? Like, if they're saying, hey, you can go throw plyo balls, was somebody there saying, you know, if you got 5 of these, or were you granted the freedom to just do them?
So last year it was really like you could do them if you had a program for it.
Smart.
Yeah, so like halfway through, which I think was a really good idea by the Phillies. So like guys were just out there just like chucking shit at the wall, you know, and
you're
like
doing ball roll-ins. You don't know what guys
off
are
the
doing.
mound.
Who knows? I mean, you don't know. Yeah, I mean,
and you never know. Like,
I mean, you don't know any different. I mean, it depends, you know, right?
No, so yeah, it was cool.
Tough.
They, I talked to Jagers and told him it was something I really wanted to get into, and so he wrote a program for me, and
very cool.
The rest was smooth sailing.
Awesome.
There.
What a great resource. That's a good resource to have out there.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah.
So we're back from the pee break.
Yep. The Stevenson Ranch here.
Here at the Stevenson Ranch. Shout out to our boy Mike. God love him. I actually started thinking about him when you said it. What do you mean? When you said perspective. Just like Tommy John giving you perspective, and being the Mike Stud fan that I am. I know that he had TJ, and that basically launched him into his music career.
Right.
And then he's got the word perspective on his arm. Everything's like twisted.
Right. Are you saying I'm going to become a rapper?
You might become a rapper and get you on some fire beats.
Right.
With Grant St. Martin, who makes the beats.
Right.
Is me chewing this going to really mess up the audio?
Well, I'm just going to turn your mic off when you're chewing it.
I'm done.
But
One more.
yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge, just from a mental standpoint, like people say baseball is 80% mental, 90% mental, whatever it is. Like, I've seen it time and time again. I've experienced it where I felt like I had the talent to like go out and get outs and compete. And I went through spurts where I felt like my mentality just wasn't there to the point where I couldn't throw strikes.
Right.
People call it the yips, whatever it may be. But I think either having TJ or having something in your life that kind of just gives you the joy to be on the field where you're like, oh, I could be sitting in my hotel room.
Yeah.
Rehabbing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably got to be a whole just sort of mindset shift.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's tough to say, but in a way, I'm like thankful that I went through that now because I think it just taught me so much like mental toughness on the mound and just like perseverance and like I said, just having that perspective of, hey, at least I'm out here, you know. Definitely. At least like even when I'm like out there getting rocked or like walking guys, you know, like like
baseball.
which I had a good amount of this past year coming back from TJ.
Happens.
There was
just gotta wake it up and crank it up.
There was a start I had in Delmarva this year where it was the beginning of the year. I was still kind of like getting back into pitching and stuff and feeling comfortable on the mound. And we were at Delmarva, and which is the Orioles team, and I started and walked the first 6 to start the game and got yanked.
Wow.
Okay.
So yeah, in that.
Any strikes? Or is this all 4?
Dude, I think we had a 30 pitch count for the inning. So like if you threw more than 30 pitches, you were out of there. So like if you think about it, 6 walks with 30 pitches, it's not many strikes. Yeah. Like
you needed that robo umpire.
It was like
save you.
It was really tough. Like coming back from it wasn't even like I was all over the place, but I just couldn't like.
Just missing.
Yeah, I wasn't
It's
comfortable.
those weird ones where you feel like it's gonna be right on the corner, and it's
Yeah.
off by 3 inches.
Yeah,
You're like,
and I wasn't like
umpire's not budging.
I hadn't like had enough experience back yet to like be able to make adjustments.
Right.
So it was like the
in
most
game, especially. That's
yeah,
different.
Yeah, and it was like the most frustrating
You
thing.
know, when the
'cause,
heart
like,
starts beating, the crowd gets louder.
Yeah,
You're
and
like,
everybody was like yelling at
the
me
game
too. They were
starts
like
going
ball.
fast,
They're
fast.
doing like the ball
oh, you
ball
got
twelve.
guys
Like,
slamming
it-
brews, just screaming.
yeah, yeah.
That one
So
was that guy.
that was a tough one, but
At least you didn't throw up in front of everyone that time.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah,
Step in the right direction.
yeah,
Well, I mean, you mentioned mental toughness, right?
Yeah.
So going into that, I think everyone has their own definition, right? So Casey Weathers, like somebody I consider a mentor, somebody that was one of our good friends in OA,
right.
would talk about it and he'd say, those guys that are rah-rah, they'll scream and they'll bang on their chest and they'll look at the other dugout, or they'll start cussing, Casey said he was never really that guy, just for an example. I mean,
Right.
there's guys that are calm, cool, like they'll walk right off the mound. And it's like everybody's got their own definition of what mental toughness is. And like, what is yours to you? Like, what does it mean to be mentally tough on the mound? For you, like, what can you execute on?
I
think
mean,
that's
I would
interesting.
just say being mentally tough on the mound is just like knowing what you knowing what you can control,
Right.
and just like no matter like what's going on around you, always just like sticking or like having that plan and just attacking it.
Right.
I would say like I said, like no matter what's going on, like even if you're like you've walked 5 guys in a row, like just
start the
never giving in, like no matter what's going on, like just always being in control of
Right.
yourself and just attacking the zone.
Because you can control how you get back up on the bump, right?
Yeah.
You can control what you look like. And
Right.
that's one thing I think people
Right.
forget about. It's like how that body language can affect you right away.
Yeah,
I mean, you start doing this and you don't even know you're doing it, the other team's going to eat you alive.
Yeah.
So it's like super interesting. It goes into posture,
Yeah.
it goes into everything. It's not just like, that's why I kind of asked the question. It's not just like trying to convince yourself through these actions of banging your chest and going crazy, yelling at other people. It's not always the case.
yeah,
It's about how you
Yeah,
respond
that's
to
a
those
good point.
situations that are tough.
yeah.
And they are. They
Well,
get really tough.
Yeah, and well, I think it goes past just like on the mountain too. Like, if you have one of those
Absolutely.
outings where you're getting rocked, like,
Yeah.
like, is it like, am I gonna go home and like get a good night of sleep and like be ready to crush it tomorrow?
Right.
Like, and it's just like, it's a new day and like a new opportunity to get better, and like you just got to have a short memory in that term.
Boom, I agree. I think that's
Just-
huge for anybody listening that wants
yeah.
some information. Short
Yeah.
memory is huge
Yeah.
in this game. It's tough.
Yeah, it's
hard.
really hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Do you have either like a saying or one piece of advice or like a quick little 1-2 things that you do if you throw a bad pitch or get up a home run that you can cut? Like obviously there's so much stuff that goes into preparation, so many mechanics you can focus on in training. But when
Right.
you get into the game, do you have like one little thing that you hang on to that kind of you go back to if shit hits the fan?
I mean, I really wouldn't say I have like a saying or like something written under my hat or anything like that, but more just focusing on the next pitch.
There you
Like knowing like next best thing or next pitch, like knowing there's nothing you can do about that last pitch.
Next pitch,
Right.
best pitch.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
Like once that ball leaves your hand, there's nothing you can do. So
That's
if you
right.
just carry it
Yeah.
with you, it's just going to bring you down. the
That's my
rest of your
favorite
game.
advice you can give somebody. It's
So-
like, what are you going to do really when the ball leaves your hand?
Yeah.
It's at the mercy of other factors now.
Yeah.
I think
Or,
that's
or
huge.
just kind of like even just asking yourself like, so what?
There you go.
Like
So what?
I just gave up a 3-run home run.
Dude, that was
So
true.
what?
I got the
Mays-
ball.
you
in my
know?
hand.
Gabe Mays said all the time.
Okay, so what?
Dude,
Yeah.
even in summer ball, like you'd be pitching well, get up like a double, Gabe from the dugout. Hey, so what?
Yeah, it's like,
Like, oh, all right, yeah, so
Yeah.
what? Boom.
So what?
It
when
just-
you
it
really
seems-
break it down.
It seems
Yeah.
so simple, but just like, it's even for a summer ball game. I remember like just kind of cruising, being like the 4th inning, and giving up maybe 1 hit in the day, and all of a sudden you give up 2 doubles back to back against a run, and you kind of get that immediate like kind of oh shit panic, and then just this kid that was a couple years older than me that was a D1 guy, so I kind of looked up to him a little bit, was just like so what? And it was kind of, you're right, dude. Like
Yeah.
so what? All right, here we go, next guy.
Yeah.
It's just to kind of bring you back to center, bring you back to that next pitch.
Well, it's
Yeah.
a perspective thing. It completely changes your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You go from like, I'm screwed. I'm out here and every pitch I'm going to hit's going to get railed. And you could think that. And you'll probably end up happening, which
Yeah.
is crazy about the mind.
Yeah.
Or you can say, whatever, maybe I'll pick him off. Or I'll just get the next guy out.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy how that perspective switch and that understanding of how your thoughts can control your performance, it's unbelievable. And
Right.
it's super intriguing.
It is.
As we go on in this game, and especially for you, I'm sure you're going to get years and years more of the mental game stuff because it
Yeah.
matters. Like,
Yeah.
I really think it matters. Like being in the gym all the time, as much as I love training and stuff, getting your stuff to where it needs to be is great. But, you know, I was messing around with guys at the gym, like, what about when the bases are loaded and there's no outs and you got to come in the game?
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, I love that.
Yeah.
You know, get out of it.
I mean, training's fun, but it's once you get into the game and you're in that situation and, like, knowing you've put in all the work you need to be at your best, and then just, like, attacking and just giving it your best shit.
Yeah, I love it.
Going for it.
I love it, man. The mental game's huge, I think. Super intriguing.
So where the fun begins.
Oh, yeah.
But
transitioning from that is, I think the mental game is kind of the root cause of the yips that affects a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of had a conversation about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. We
We
did.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
But,
the Superdome, as Rob Hill would say.
Yeah,
I've checked in the
I feel like
Superdome plenty of times.
the yips, to some degree, whether you want to label it as a yips or just, you know, being wild for a week or two, like, affects almost every baseball player. Just when they kind of, like, at some point see they throw a ball and kind of have that doubt of self-confidence, like, oh, maybe I can't throw a strike, and then it affects the next pitch. And it could be a small little window, or it could take 6 months to a career.
Some guys never come back from it.
But it's cool when you want to kind of dive into your experience with the yips.
Sure. So like I said, I had Tommy John in August of 17, and ended up starting to throw like January 15th of that next year of 18. And I was probably like, I'd say maybe like 4 months into my throwing or so. I think I was around like 90 feet in my throwing progression. And I was just getting out to 120, which is usually where they say like, hey, you can start letting it go a little bit. Like not max effort throwing, just like start letting it go. And I couldn't do it. Like they would say like, hey, let this, like, and I didn't realize it, but I was kind of just like, I was so afraid of my elbow hurting. Cause like you think about it, like the last time I tried to throw a baseball hard, my elbow hurt really bad. Yeah. So without even knowing it, I got into a habit of like kind of pushing the ball a little bit.
Right.
And I didn't even really know I was doing it. And so they said, hey, you can start letting it go a little bit. Like, and in my mind, I would be like, let it go, let it go, let it go through my throw. And then at the last minute, my elbow would just like, nope.
Your body's job is to protect itself, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And it was probably the hardest time of rehab I had, just because, and I wouldn't necessarily say it was like the yips per se, but it was just something, it was like a mental block, and something wouldn't click. And like, when I would do that, my arm would just kind of shut down, and like the ball would just kind of like sail. Or like
must be
halfway.
Super frustrating.
Yeah, and it was the most frustrating thing.
Imagine.
Like,
it's like, what
dude,
the fudge?
Yeah, I'm like a month away from getting on the mound again.
I've thrown a baseball my whole life.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, exactly.
You know
and
what
like,
I'm saying?
Yeah, and like,
incredible.
I mean, I've heard a good analogy is like, it's like signing your name. Like you've done it so many times, like you don't even have to think about it. But like if you start to think about it, it's like, it's weird. Yeah, you just kind of do it. But the minute you start like trying to like, wait, what do I do? It's just like,
dude.
It's like foreign.
That's such a good point.
Someone, I forget where, was talking about, I think it might have been Jake McKinley, was telling us.
Skip. That's my dog.
Shout out to Jake. Everyone here knows how to walk, but if next time that you're walking with someone, try to explain how to walk while you're walking. And you'll start like tripping yourself up. You start becoming robotic, mechanical.
Yep.
And it's one of those, so I guess if you compare it to like throwing, if you're so focused either internally or just like, I got to place it in there and start like really being focused on your body, it's easy to kind of start short arming it or pushing it or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But from your experience, what either kind of helped you break out of that, or what kind of, you know, everyone kind of scared of getting the yips or going to that dark place, but obviously you've been there and you've come back.
Yeah.
Tell me the story about the bullpen. Or you told me at dinner.
Oh yeah. So, that was around that time. So my first bullpen back from Tommy John, I still hadn't like necessarily like dealt with the problem fully.
Right.
I don't think at the time. So I got on the mound and like I was throwing a few to the catcher, and in our spring training facility we have like there's the mound and then home plate. Then we have a fence that's probably like 8 feet tall, then we have a 2-story building behind it, straight behind it, that's like the clubhouse and
Right.
like offices and stuff. So like the first level's 12, 14 feet high, like above the ground. The next level's like probably 25 feet high.
Right.
And I threw a baseball onto the.
Was it supposed to be a high pitch?
Yeah, trying to get swings and misses.
We
but,
don't know.
Went a little too far.
Okay.
But
The high cheese.
I probably threw a baseball 15 feet up in the air off that building.
Wow.
And that was just one of those times where it was just like,
Was that the straw that
Wow.
broke the camel's back? He said, "Enough of this." I will
I
not
mean,
do
a
this
little
anymore."
bit. Yeah, I was like,
honestly, right?
I was, at the time, I was so embarrassed and like,
Right, that's tough. No, yeah.
I thought that I like had to be perfect, you know, like, and that's why I think it put some more pressure on me, like coming back, because like I had barely pitched in pro ball and I had Tommy John, and coming back I was like, dude, I need to be perfect and I need to show everybody how good I am.
Right.
And like it's normal to have those struggles, like coming back from Tommy John, or even if you're just a normal baseball player, like everybody goes through stuff like that.
The expectations you put on yourself.
Yeah.
It's just like real.
Yeah, and so that was kind of like the last straw, and I was like, dude, I need help. So I went and talked to our mental skills coach, Hannah Huseman. She's awesome.
Yeah, you
And
said
she
some good
helped me,
things.
and like it was within a session or two, it was just like that.
Like you're just walking again.
And,
Exactly. Like,
What did you do in that session?
so I she had me doing some crazy shit. I was she had me like walking forward while throwing.
Right.
She had me like she has this thing called like power posing, where it's like a confidence thing, like where you'll like stand with like your shoulders like back and like
Hell yeah.
like a Superman pose, stuff like that. And like she used to play softball, and like she had a softball and she and I would play catch with that. And she even had me like singing while I was throwing, like singing out loud.
That's the part I thought
Which-
was really cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's
What
so
song?
Take It Easy by the Eagles.
Great song.
And one of my favorites of all
It's
time.
beautiful.
It's incredible.
Ties right in. So she's having you sing the song that you're familiar with. You like.
Or no, I chose that song.
Oh, you chose the song.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I
cool.
thought it was pretty fitting, but
Makes sense.
I'm not doing that.
Give us a little verse. Come on, man.
No, he's like, no, don't put the pressure.
I already went through this one time.
Come on, man.
Well, I'm not doing that.
All right.
Let's see. There you go.
I already went through that once in front of somebody else. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
That helped.
and it was so interesting because like at the time she was like having me do this stuff, and I'm like, why?
What?
Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing out here? Like,
Right.
am I wasting my time? Like,
Like I'm playing baseball.
yeah, we're playing
Right.
baseball. We're not in a band or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
but
Yeah.
it was incredible, like how quickly it just clicked.
Right.
Because I was so domed up, and I remember doing that stuff, and I think it was maybe when I was singing, like, it sounds so dumb, but like I all of a sudden like my mind was focused on that, and I was like so embarrassed in front of her, like singing, and like I was focusing on that.
She's getting a free
And
concert. Right?
All of a sudden, like I threw 3, like without even noticing it, I just like peppered the catcher's chest,
Boom, boom,
like
boom.
3 times in a row,
Was this out in the outfield or in the bullpen?
just out in the outfield.
Okay, right. So you're
But
playing catch.
it was just like, I kind of looked down and I was like, whoa,
You said, hold on.
like
It's in there.
what just happened? Because like before like I couldn't make a throw without like thinking about it, and like, okay, well I hope my elbow's gonna be okay, and what's gonna happen if I sail this one, and then all of a sudden without even thinking about it, it just like unlocked, and it was just like boom, boom, boom,
That's fire.
Yeah.
and I was like, whoa,
She might
So-
be the greatest pitching coach alive.
dude,
I mean, come on.
she's awesome.
It
She's
just goes
helped
to
me
show
so
you, right?
much.
How,
Yeah,
how crazy that is. The
Yeah.
connection. I mean,
it was so cool.
which
And it-
doesn't solve all your issues, but that was a hell of it felt good. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, and we still joke about it, like how dumb I thought it was that we were doing that,
Right.
and like I was like, oh, what does she know about pitching and this and that, and I
Right.
was like, and then we did that, and it was just like
You're like, hey,
it
let's
just
do this again.
clicked, and I was like, I mean, I still thank her like whenever I see her
Yeah.
for
Once-
that. It was so
whenever,
cool.
Like, I remember the times when I was the most yipped up. My best catch play sessions, I was joking around.
Yeah.
Talking to the guy next to me, like, hey, check, throwing ball sidearm, like,
Yeah.
whatever you got to do to stay loose and just almost like not focus. Playing quick catch.
Right.
Like,
That
one
yeah,
of-
that's another thing I
I
did
don't-
too.
know if it might have been the year that you weren't playing, but I remember Hook saying a bunch when we played Jessup, just play wiffle ball.
Oh yeah.
Like, just something, it kind of sounds dumb, but like, you can get in between the lines and take baseball so seriously, but if you're the kid in the backyard striking out your buddy, just winging it, shooting the shit, like.
Cause never once did you think about mechanics and wiffle ball.
Like,
No.
obviously if you're at the
No.
collegiate
What?
level,
Yeah,
you're
of
at
course
the
not.
professional
That'd be
level.
ridiculous.
Like,
Yeah.
if you're at that level, you're good, obviously.
Yeah.
You got it in there. It's just in here, the mind just gets in the way.
Yeah.
And that's
So-
something Brian kind of mentioned. Kind of goes into it. He's like, ever since I was a kid, I just told people I was going to play professional baseball.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
I was just doing it in the backyard, and then he ended up at City, and he went to the pros. But he was just like, I just said, I'm going to keep playing baseball, and that's all it was. It was this game
Yeah.
he learned, out in the backyard somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and I think that kind of goes along with that mental toughness thing too.
Right.
Like no matter like how bad things are going, just having that like wherever you find it from, having that confidence
Yeah.
of like how good you are and what you have and like I mean
You're there for a reason, right?
exactly
It's
yeah
not like you're not a bad baseball player.
yeah
Second round drafted, for example. But you know what I mean? It's like you're damn good at what you do.
It's crazy the power of the minds we've kind of touched on. I remember my sophomore year at Willamette, I two-wayed in the fall, and I remember Caleb kind of filling in my head that somewhere like, oh, you're 6'5", like we're gonna get you throwing 95, you're gonna be drafted. So I kind of came back to school with a chip on my shoulder of like, why am I at this D3? Like Caleb's right, like I'm 6'5", I'm gonna get drafted. And whenever I took that mentality, whether it was throwing, I remember my first outing back, I think I struck out like four or five guys in a row, and it's called because I was in the pitch count or whatever. But every time I took that, like when I was hitting, even though I was there as a pitcher, if I looked down and saw a freshman, I'd be like, oh, you're a freshman at D3 throwing 80. Well, I'm on the same field as you. I'm getting drafted. And that usually like a double.
yeah
But whenever I'd either forget to think about that or just didn't have that mentality for some reason, a lot on my mind or whatever, I usually got out.
right
And it's kind of weird to go back and think about that. Like, obviously, I'm the same player with the same skill set, but just that mentality in that moment plays such a huge factor.
yeah
Huge. It's super
yeah,
fast.
the mind is
It's
something
insane. The
else.
strongest freaking muscle in your body. I'd say. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
yeah
It's like
Right.
it can do so much to you for you or against you, and I think it's awesome, man. That you've got that kind of you're rolling that way, figuring that stuff out. Yeah.
One more thing I want to touch on is you got the shirt on,
I do
the Boris shirt, but
I
so
do.
you're a Boris guy,
I am
Scott Boris.
Scott Boris
Decently big name.
yeah he's all right
Right.
I don't know
Probably-
much about that guy except for the tournament. Except for the tournament he holds here.
is that the right
He's,
fielder for the Dodgers
Is that guy rich?
But he's kind of, I guess when you think as far as like player agents or all that, it's like the gold standard basically, right? So how, just quickly, how do you get in contact with him? What's it been like working with him? Anything you want to say about being a Boris guy?
Yeah, I mean he's been awesome. Just that whole company. I started talking to them. I think the end of my junior year in high school, and just knew right away like that's who I wanted to be with. I mean they really go the extra mile just in whatever it is. Like whether it's like making sure you're all good during the season and checking in with you all the time. And they have the gym down in Newport Beach and. I mean, there's so much I could say, but they do a really good job.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I'm-
probably, being a 17-year-old junior year and then 18-year-old going through the whole draft process, it's probably imperative to have someone that knows what they're doing
Yeah.
and has some experience there to
Yeah.
help guide you through that process.
Yeah, and they help make it pretty easy on me. So
That's awesome.
so I could just go out and kind of just focus on pitching.
It's a pretty big decision, yeah, like we talked about.
All right, Steve and I played in the Boris Classic in high school, a little tournament up here in Sacramento, so we're kind of connected.
I think
Yeah.
he struck out 15 times.
Yeah, I think
You had to hold the mic close for that one.
It was done for.
my highlight from that tournament was picking Mitch Hart off at first base. In case you're wondering,
I tagged
Oh,
him.
there you go.
you tagged him. He's also a pitcher, but it doesn't matter. Pick him off.
That's my extent of knowledge on him.
Yeah. So
But obviously hear about the guy.
he's also in Moneyball. Well, he's not in it, but
Right.
Brad pitched on the phone with him. Scott, thought we had a deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that's who even like the Hollywood movies use is Scott Boris. Like Boris
Yeah,
is
here's his name in Hollywood. I mean, come on.
freaking the Jay-Z song. Scott Boris, you over, baby. Robinson Cano, you come with me.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
there's a really good. I think it's Sports Center, like an ad that was on there. You know the kind of the fun ones they do with like either like the mascots or like there was the big
Oh, yeah.
poppy one like
This is sport,
wearing the
yeah.
Yankees hat or whatever.
Right.
Like there's a really good Boris one
Really?
on
I
there.
didn't
Yeah,
know
it's
that.
on like YouTube. You should check it out.
Hell yeah.
It's a funny one.
The Timmy one.
We'll
When
have
he's
to-
doing the voicemail.
Oh, the Linscomb one? Yeah, those were the best.
Hey, it's big time Timmy Jim.
Those were good ones.
No one
Yeah.
calls me that.
Or like
It's-
when he's in the car with himself and like he puts on the music and he goes, and we don't listen to that. Like
Yeah.
God,
That's
those are-
awesome.
yeah, those are funny.
Those are good.
It's fun.
All right, so just to finish up,
Yeah, man.
what are the Phillies telling me as far as this year goes? What are your kind of goals? Like going into
Yeah, that'd
spring
be my next
training? What are
question.
you
Goals. What are you looking to
excited
do?
for this year? Anything about the upcoming year?
Okay.
I mean, I would say definitely the goal this off season was just to get bigger and stronger and like gain weight, which
Right.
I did.
Same.
I started the year.
Sorry.
I started the year. I think the off season at 188, and I'm at like 205 now.
There you go.
So doing good on that side, and also just like kind of just dialing in all the off speed stuff. The sliders feeling pretty good, and we've really dialed in. It's kind of like a split change now, but that's feeling good too. So I'm excited. I mean, I don't know where I'm going to be this year, but
Right.
definitely excited just to be feeling as good as I am and just go compete, get
Yeah.
some outs.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
Love that. You're
All
ready
right,
to
last
go.
question. Favorite part of Sacramento so far?
Jack's Urban Eats,
Besides
Hell
me.
yeah,
for
agreed.
sure. Shout
All
out
right.
Luke for the
Of course.
recommendation.
Kev, thanks for coming on.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
dude.
having me,
I
man.
like to see your dog.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
Later,
Thank you,
man.
brother.
Yeah.
Hi, thanks
Killed
for being
it.
on.
We killed it.
Nice. Look at that, we're natural.